Okay. Take two. Oh, there's the two. I don't know what I'm doing with this stupid camera, and I feel like I want a neck lift. Anyway, I'm documenting my house, my real estate investment journey. I purchased my very first house on my own. It's not the first house I've ever purchased, but it's the first house I've ever purchased on my own. Closed on this house July of 2022. We are now March 18th of 2023. So 6 months into this joint, right, has been extremely, what do you want to say, uncomfortable. And so that's what I really want to talk about in this episode is uncomfortability versus profitability, right? So this is new. I am new. I'm a new real estate investment person, and I feel like my cheeks are so hot because I'm oh God. Anyway, I'm documenting my journey. So I closed on this property last year. I've been in this property for 6 months. I'm currently house hacking with my middle son, so that's different. But the point was for me, more than anything, was to create an opportunity to have some generational wealth, which is something that we don't talk about not nearly as much as we need to. And I'm not talking about on social media. I'm talking about that's something that we don't even talk about, like in our, having dinner every night, get-togethers, what have you. We don't talk enough about how to get to where we really want to get to. We talk about silly stuff that's not going to really help us. It's fun. And don't get me wrong, I'm probably the queen, the ambassador of a good time. Okay, I'm going to have a good time. I don't care what I'm doing. It's going to be great. But how is that helping the bottom line? Because at this stage in the game, like I'm old now. I'm old. And it's too late in the game to still be struggling and still not being able to figure out like how I am going to fund college, how I'm going to, retire comfortably. I've been telling my sister for the longest time, like, I'm going to Warren Buffett my way all the way through this life. I'm going to work every single day. I don't even care nothing about retirement. I don't want to retire because I really don't. But I want to work at something that it has to make sense. And trading my time for money just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. So one, I want to work at something that makes sense. And two, I want to work at something that is fulfilling. Fulfilling for me is giving back. And I have to be able to give and to give back and to help pull up the next generation. That's my whole claim to fame. For the last 30 years. Like I've been in social services for 30 years, and that's my claim to fame. So, but what I really wanted to talk about was how did I get all the way to friggin', oh, I hate to even say it. How did I even get to 54 and I'm not ready? I'm not the reason why I'm going to Warren Buffett my way all the way in is because I'm not ready. I don't have retirement sitting around somewhere. And I'm like, if anything happens, I have a little nest egg, but it's not going to sustain me, if something happens to where I can't work. So what do? What is the answer to that? So for me, the answer is passive income through real estate. You are always going to need somewhere to live, and other people are too. And so why am I not taking advantage of that? So anyway, all right. So with that, I have purchased this I didn't even know they made houses this small. So this is a tiny 2-bedroom, 2-bath. And so I'm house hacking it with my son. It's not giving me, so I wanted the house hack to be you know, the second room was going to pay for, or the, whatever I hacked was going to pay for the entire thing. So I'm not able to pay for the entire thing. So there's that. But what I have done is I have cut my cost significantly. So what has that meant? Okay, I'm trying to find my jacket so I can go outside and walk around with you. But what that has meant is I sold my car, my beautiful Infinity crossover. Okay, this is not a great can. What are we doing? Okay, I might have just showed you my whole everything's not great. But anyways, I sold my car, my Infinity crossover that I loved, my Midnight. I love that car. It was beautiful. And okay, all right, dog, let's go. Sold the car. Moved to freaking Texas. I'm a Cali girl all day. Hands down. Beach, sun, warm weather, shorts, and a tank top is my stuff. I am literally right now in freaking Texas, where it's, and actually I always call it BFE. If you don't know what BFE is, I need you to Google that. But that's exactly where I'm at. And I moved out here for the sole purpose of setting up one of my sons, because this is where he lived and this is where he loves it. So setting him up in real estate. So can you see behind me? Okay, there's the tiny, the smallest house ever, right? My 2-bedroom, 2-bath. So he currently rents out one of the rooms and I'm staying in the other one. And I'm hoping that I don't have to stay in here. My goal is to get out of here in the next 6 months. Now, during that 6 months time, what am I doing? I'm cutting. So since I sold my car, I'm sharing his car. I am living in this godforsaken town. And since I work remotely, which is beautiful, I'm living in this godforsaken town, and I am just dealing with life in this tiny house. So it's uncomfortable. That's what I really came in here to talk about. It's uncomfortable, and I'm talking about uncomfortability versus profitability. Although it's uncomfortable, selling my car and reducing my expenses, I now pay almost a quarter of what I was paying for my rent in California. And what that's allowing me to do is to pay off debt. I only had a couple of credit cards, and they got out of control because when I got into this stupid little blue box, I had to buy, washer, dryer, refrigerator, and what have you, because I couldn't be that uncomfortable. But anyways, so it's allowing me to pay off those cards. It's also allowing me to save at a ridiculous rate. Now, what did I need to do that? I needed to not allow the amount of money that I was saving to be spent on, whatever stuff. I had to not allow the income creep, they call it. I had to not. So just to give you an idea, I used to get my fingernails and toenails done every couple of weeks. Yeah, right now my feet look homeless. Just kidding. I'm trying to keep them up myself, but it is not easy. So anyway, but what does that mean? So I haven't gotten fingernails, toenails done. I don't eat out nearly as much as I used to. I save it for the weekends, and that's like one day out of the weekend. What also does that mean? Like, I'm not traveling as much as I was, because I have a goal. My goal at the end of this year is to get a duplex, and I'm probably going to house hack that duplex until I get the next deal. because minimally, I want to have at least 3 houses, one for each kid. But more than that, I've decided now that my number is 2.4 million, that I need to retire and live comfortably so I can travel and take my kids wherever I want to take them. And so in order to do that, I'm reverse engineering this bad boy as to what is it going to take to get me to where I'm trying to go. So that's all I really wanted to come in here and say was, what is it going to take to get you to where you're trying to go? And you might need to sacrifice some pleasantries. I promise I'm sacrificing every day that I'm in this town. Every second that I'm here. It's not comfortable. It's not where I want to be. I want to be on a beach somewhere, sipping Mai Tais. Or just in California. I just want to be in California. I feel like that's my home. But regardless, I'm willing to be uncomfortable if it gets me to my end goal. And I guess that's the question that I really wanted to ask you right now. Are you willing to build the machine and be uncomfortable to get where you're trying to go? Ooh, that candle smells so good. That's what I'm talking about. Are you willing to build the machine? Build the machine. Build the machine, not the event. Build the machine. What are you going to do every single day? Every single day I'm in this joint. Like, I'm here every single day. That's the machine. What are you going to do? What machine can you build this year that's going to make next year look amazing? You know, or the years after that. That's really the question that I really wanted to come in here and ask you. What's going to be the machine? I'm not saying that my machine is perfect, and I really don't know. I'm taking this journey. I'm trying. I'm new. And I'm hoping that I can get help and I can get partners and I can, scale this thing to get to my $2.4 million, which is where I want to be in the next 5 years. So I am documenting my journey, and this isn't day one. Day one started probably about at least 2 years ago, if not more. That was a bad angle. Talk about it. Talk about vanity. Anyways, day one started a couple of years ago when I started thinking that I don't want to rent anymore. I want to buy. And California's home prices were so intimidating, and when I went to go try to qualify, I could only qualify for like a shack while I was out there, and I just didn't want it. And I couldn't see the value of buying that shack out there because that's not what I really wanted. Now in hindsight, now I'm thinking that at least if I would have bought the shack while I was out there, I'd still be in California. Maybe not in an area that I want to be in, but at least I'd be there and I could get going in that direction. Because the one thing that I'm realizing is that wherever you're spending the most money for a piece of real estate, you're going to get the most returns for, and vice versa. So if you spend the least amount of money, you find some least, see my little pinned up curtain, because I'm not trying to spend any money. But anyways, yeah, so without going on and on and on, that's the goal. $2.4 million in the next 5 years. And at least 2 more properties. But being uncomfortable versus being profitable. Like, I'm trying to take this jacket off because I'm getting hot now. That's the goal here. Tell me what you think. Leave me a message. Help me up. Tell me I'm crazy. Whatever you want to say. I am signing off, and I am going to commit to doing 1 video a week and see if that makes me be accountable. All right. Love you all. Let me know what you think. Bye.